Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be learning so much your brain's going to go, wow, I'm learning so much. And you're going to think, why am I talking to my brain? Okay, so let's look at this equation that someone submitted. It says a small fast food restaurant invests $5,000 to produce a new food item that will sell for $3.49 each. And each item can be produced for $2.16. That means it costs that much to make it. You get that much off of each one, and they're essentially making $5,000 to start it. Like, not making it, but they're investing that much in it to start, okay? Now, let's look at A. Okay, so on A it says find an expression for the total cost. Okay, therefore we're not going to incorporate how much we're making per item. No. What we're going to incorporate is our total investment up front, which was $5,000, and then $2.16 per item. Okay, so let's look at this problem. Okay, so let's set up our problem. A is what we're doing, so I'm going to label that. Now, essentially, we're only going to use those two because, like I said, they're the only things that are costing us money. This is the money we're making, so we're going to hold on it. Okay, so we spent $5,000 up front, and then for every item we make, it costs us $2.16 to produce it per item. So we would multiply, because if we have one item, it only costs us $2.16. If we did two, it would be $5.32. If we did three, it would be $7.48. And it would keep going up from there. Okay, equals y, because we don't know what it equals because we don't know what we put in for how many items. Okay, so the total cost, one way to be thorough would be to label your stuff, your x and your y. Your x is the number of items, alright, and then your y is your total cost. Okay, now, if in some situations they want you to make this to where it's like a negative, because essentially what you're doing, the cost would be like if it's your total, I guess, profit ratio or something like that, however they worded it, to where it was like how much money you're having. This is actually be negatives in here. Negative there, because you're going in the hole every time you spend money. You're not making money. So you got to think of the literal context here of what the problem's asking. Okay? But for this case, I'm pretty sure that's what they meant by there's the total cost, because this is what it's going to cost you total. You wouldn't say that it's a negative. Okay, so now on to B. On B, it says find an expression for the revenue. Revenue is how much you're making. Okay, so let's see. Your total revenue would be the amount of money you're making. So you would say that's the amount you make after each one. When you sell it, that's the amount it costs to make it. So therefore, those are conflicting. So you're not going to make all that money. So essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to make $3.49 per item, but you're subtracting $2.16. You multiply it times x, and then you can simplify that, and that'd be $1.33 per item. Now, this would be your total expression for your revenue, like that's what you're making all the time. But then again, you've got this $5,000 right here. So you might need to subtract that $5,000 from it. When I would put that in right here, but on C, I think that's what we're going to do. So for C, it's want to know an expression for the profit. Okay, or actually it says he profit, but we meant the profit. Okay, so therefore that's your revenue. That was up here. This is what your cost was. Let's think of if you think of the problem and actually what you're doing is your business. You would know that you're making this much per item, so we're going up that much. But we started out 5,000 in the hole, so subtract that 5,000 equals y, and that's it really, because you know that's much you're going up. That's how much you started off down, and we don't have to incorporate the 2.16 because it's incorporated in right there along with that. It's like taking a shortcut. All right, on D, it says how many items must be sold to break even. Breaking even in the real world means that you essentially have come out of debt and you are back to where you're like ground zero. Okay, so essentially we're going to take this problem right here, and we want to know how many items it's going to take until we get 0 for our y. And then we can solve it. Okay, we just solve for x like we do a regular problem. Add 5,000 to both sides, and that would be 133x equals 5,000. And the opposite of 133 times x is divide by 133. So our x equals, and I believe it's 3,759.4 to round it, and you can't really sell 0.4 of an item, So really, you're going to have to say, just round that little guy up. And so say x equals, that's an ugly x right there, 3,760. Okay? Now, you're actually, to break even, that means you're going to come up a little above, but at least you're not in the negatives. I would round that way as opposed to rounding down, because you can go a little bit below zero, a little bit above, and I doubt anybody's going to buy 0.4 of your item. Like, you're going to cut off part of an orange and sell a used orange. All right, and then let me minimize this a little bit. The last question was asking how many items was he sold to make a profit of 8,500. Okay, well, this is the same thing you did here, except for right there, you're going to put 8,500. So 133x minus 500, or 5,000, equals 85. So you add, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you add 5,000, I lied. You add them, pew, 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 pew. So it's 133x equals 1,300, I'm sorry, 13,000, I can't even talk right, 500. Okay, and then we just divide by 133. And it's fairly obvious you're going to have to sell 10,151 items, because it was around 150.3759, something like that. So you're going to have to go up one. That's how you're going to make that much money. Dollar bills, y'all.
Hey, Tyler here. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out TarverAcademy.com.